Ngayong nagbabago na naman ang ating buhay dahil sa teknolohiya, mas mabuting mag-tech ka muna. Pero teka muna, sandali, bago po tayo mag-click o mag-like o mag-share, dapat merong extra care. Ako po si Mon Esperto, ang inyong tech lolo. Welcome na naman sa programang Tech Ka Muna. Tayo po ay napapanood ng live sa 1PH Signal TV Channel 1, and we can also be seen live and on demand sa Facebook page at saka sa YouTube channel ng 1PH. Hanapin lang niyo po, search for Tech Ka Muna. Again, magandang gabi po sa atin lahat mga kapatid. Alam niyo, mula nung Disyembre, shortly after tumama ang Typhoon Odette, we have ran 2 episodes so far kung saan pinakita natin at pinag-usapan ang iba't ibang mga technologies na pwedeng gamitin ng ating mga kababayan para makarecover at better yet, para makapaghanda para sa mga disasters katulad ng Odette. Ang unang pinag-usapan natin, if you recall, ay yung the use of solar power technology at saka satellite communications, no? Para hindi ma-isolate yung ating mga komunidad kung sakaling may disaster. No? Hindi lang, by the way, hindi lang bagyo. We're also talking about earthquakes, floods, yung mga ganun kasi mga sakuna. Then, after that, in the second episode, we discussed yung mga technologies for water harvesting at saka water filtration. This time around, tonight, ang pag-uusapan naman natin ay isang bagay na napakahalaga. We will look into a new building technology na affordable, sustainable also, na pwedeng gamitin ng ating mga kababayan para makagawa ng mga mas matibay na bahay that are not only affordable but also disaster resilient. Ako yun po ang isang napaka-importante goal na ma-achieve natin. Dahil siguro naman, no, hindi pa natin nakakalimutan the heartbreaking scenes, yung mga videos at saka photographs ng napakarami sa ating mga kapatid na nawalan ng bahay, rendered homeless po dahil sa sobrang lakas na hangin at mga tubig baha na nakawasak sa kanilang mga bahay. So ngayon, ano itong technology na makakatulong para maiwasan ito, na makatayo tayo na mas matibay na disaster resilient na mga bahay? Ang tawag dito po ay CBFT, which is short for Concrete Bamboo Frame Technology. Okay? Silipin nga natin, ano nga kaya ang itsura ng mga isang bamboo house haba na gumagamit ng ganitong klaseng technology? Aaron, can we show a couple of photos or a video? Yan, no? Ito, under construction pa itong pero kita niyo, yan. No? This is halo siya, may concrete, meron din siyang bamboo. Yan. At itong mga bahay nito, pag-usapan natin later on, tinamaan na yan ng bagyo. Pero hindi sila nasira. Okay? Yan. Maarte pa yung itsura ng ibang yun. Sige. And we have 2 very, very good guests who are extremely qualified to discuss this subject because they are leading advocates of the adoption, promotion, and adoption of CBTF. No? And let's bring them on together right now. Una-una po, let me call on the Base Bahay Foundation Incorporated, si Pablo Corillo.
Hi Mon, good evening. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
Good evening Pablo, thank you for joining us. No? By the way, ang tawag ata ng mga kaibigan sa iyo at saka I will follow their lead, Doc PJ. No?
Yes, Doc PJ.
Ipaliwanag
mo na rin sa endearment.
Ipaliwanag mo later kung paano ka naging doktor. Anyways, okay. Let's bring other guests. This time, hindi doktor, architect naman. We have architect Ray Villanueva, who is a co-founder of the Kawayan Collective din doon po sa Negros Oriental. Ngayong gabi, Ray.
Ngayong gabi po, Sir Mon. So happy to be here. And good evening, viewers. Thanks for watching.
Okay, and then I'm so happy to have both of you here, and let's get on the road to discuss. I think we should start off by asking the two of you, can you introduce your respective organizations? What do you do? In your case, Doc DJ, you are from Base Bahay Foundation. What do you guys do?
Yes, thank you, Mon. Doc PJ po from Base Bahay Foundation. Katunayan po, Base Bahay Foundation is a foundation initiated here in the Philippines by the Hilti Foundation. Our mandate is to provide and deliver alternative building technologies to a network of partners, to as many partners as possible, so that we can provide affordable, green, sustainable, and disaster resilient housing with social impact. So ang mandate po namin is really to build communities using technologies that are sustainable.
Now, quickly lang, Pablo, I mean, you guys developed the CBFT technology. No? Saan galing ito? Where did this come from?
Katunayan, if you look back, the cement bamboo frame technology is actually now that the technology we're using is actually a combination of the technology first done in Europe and in Latin America. In Europe, tawag dito is wattle and daub, kagaya ng bahay ni Shakespeare. And in Latin America, it is called cementado, bajareke de cementado.
Mhm.
Now, together with the Philippine culture, ingenuity, design, and German engineering, we have come up with the cement bamboo frame technology. By the way, Mon, this same technology, as early as 200 years ago, is already
Oh.
available or can be found here in the Philippines. And historically, ang tawag dito sa Pilipinas, tabike pampango. The same, the same method, the same principle that they use in Europe and Latin America.
So international pala ito, Pablo. I mean, it's although it's kumbaga local kasi talagang local sa atin ng bamboo, no? Pero it's also prevalent, it's also being used in Latin America and it's being developed also by Europeans.
Correct.
Okay.
And
okay.
historically, marami ng mga structure as old as 200 to 300 years old that was built using this type of technology.
Oh, okay. Well, no, we'll get to that later on, no? But kasi that's an important question in many people's minds, no? Let's go to Ray. Ray, sige nga, can you introduce your organization, Kawayan Collective?
Sure. Yes. Good evening, everyone. I am architect Ray Villanueva. I am the co-founder of Kawayan Collective. Kawayan Collective is a bamboo treatment facility based in Negros Oriental. Our mission is to elevate bamboo as a beautiful, sustainable, durable material. And we share the vision of Base Bahay that all Filipinos should be able to live in safe, affordable homes. So basically, Kawayan Collective was started with Base Bahay as its launch partner. And so in that way, we're very much intertwined in our goals. And as their supply partner in Negros, we supply their projects. And that's how we started. But now we've also ventured into engineered bamboo and trying to also look for other ways to use the cement bamboo frame technology in our own projects.
Okay. Now, Ray, just to make clear the distinction between your respective organizations. Ray, you're more on what? The supply side of bamboo?
Exactly, on the supply side.
You work with farmers to cultivate the bamboo, and then what? Do you prepare them, process them? What do you do with the bamboo?
Sure. So we have a treatment process that has been developed over many years and also internationally recognized, so we work with farmers and harvesters in the mountains of our island, and they're harvesting bamboo. And we also work with them on planting initiatives, but primarily we're working with them to harvest about 300 poles a month. Actually, I'm sorry, 300 poles a week. And so our treatment process is about 3 weeks long. It involves properly grading the bamboo poles according to international standards, and then also washing. We go through about 3 days of washing, 10 days of drying, and then finally treatment. So it's about a 3-week process where we prepare the bamboo in order for it to be considered construction grade bamboo.
Okay, now that's important, Ray, and we'll get into that when you say construction grade. No? Okay, now can I go back
Yes.
to Pablo, Doc PJ? So you guys have been working with partners to actually build houses. So far, how many houses have you built here in the Philippines?
Right now, Mon, since 2014, Base by Foundation, together with a different network of partners, we have already built about 1,000 houses or homes
Okay.
in the entire Philippines. 12 communities. You can find them in Batangas, even in NCR, in Quezon City, in the
Hmm.
Visayas, Leyte, Samar, Iloilo, Tacloban, Negros Occidental, in Mindanao, Bukidnon, Davao, and from these 1,000 houses, mga 5,000 individuals and families have already benefited in this type of houses.
Okay, now uh, let's. Can you give us a more concrete idea, Doc PJ? I mean, when you say houses, what's the size of these houses? Uh, is, is this a standalone or duplex? Anong type of houses ito?
Depende sa community mon. For example, if our partners would like to build a single detached housing unit of, let's say, 25 square meter floor area, single story, and then it is for 50 to 100 houses. That is how we build and design them. Some
Mhm.
of our projects, mga duplex, just
Mhm.
like in one of our projects in Negros Occidental, we have a duplex. In some projects in Iloilo, it's a two-story duplex house.
Ah,
In other partnership, it is quadruplex of four houses, like a row houses. It could
mhm.
also be triplex. So again, it depends on the partner. It depends on the site. It depends on what the community needs based on their requirements.
Okay, now I want to go straight to a subject that's really central to this discussion. What's been the experience of your houses so far when it comes to dealing with disasters? No? Have they actually survived the really humdinger of a storm? Can you give us examples of what's happened in those cases, Pablo? Let's start off with you, Pablo, then I'll go to you, Ray.
Oo.
Uh,
With a very recent Typhoon Odette, Mon,
mm,
just to illustrate, dalawang bahay, right, or dalawang structure right next to each other in
mm,
Negros. One structure, although it's a temporary facility, a bodega made of light steel frame, after Typhoon Odette, totally demolished, no,
mm.
because of the wind speed. Right next to it is a bamboo, again, a temporary facility just to house like a bodega, and it is practically unscathed after the typhoon. So when we saw that comparison, we're so happy.
Mm.
Now, given that there are already 1,000 houses all over the Philippines, and sa awa ng Diyos, no? They are intact and have survived many typhoons already. Katunayan, meron kaming test houses in Ginubatan, Albay since 2014.
Okay.
And tinamaan na yun ng maraming bagyo, Typhoon Glenda, and all other category 4 and 5 typhoons, and the houses are still standing.
Okay. Okay. Ray, kayo, you Negros, you were part of the you were in the
Yeah.
storms. So what happened to you? And what
Or
happened to the
yeah,
house? Oh.
we were badly hit here in Negros. But yeah, safe to say that our house here really had very minor, no impact. Only the trees. We were unscathed from the trees. The trees were the main issue, falling on roofs. But
Mm, mm.
luckily, we were spared. So we're very lucky.
Okay. So kasi parang it's counterintuitive, Ray at saka Doc PJ, no? Kasi when you think about typhoon resilient or disaster resilient houses, ang unang iniisip mo concrete.
Mm-hmm.
Bamboo doesn't come to mind right away. I mean, what is it about bamboo that makes it it's not just bamboo, it's a combination of concrete and bamboo, right? No,
Yep.
what is it that makes it so resilient? uh, uh, let's oops. Doc, can you hear me?
Yes, Mon.
Yeah, I was.
Yes.
What makes a concrete slash bamboo frame technology house so resilient? No, in the face of these kinds of disasters.
Una Mon, the bamboo itself as a structural material, the bending strength capacity, the tensile strength capacity, the compressive strength capacity, the shear capacity of this material is actually comparable or even better than timber. And in many aspects, because of the structure of the bamboo, there are times that it can be even stronger than steel. Kung at a properties level ang pag-uusapan. So,
Oh.
bamboo already as a construction material with both its physical and mechanical properties fit and good for construction. The second one, of course, is that when you use this type of material, you have to design it in a manner or in a way that it can carry this typhoon and earthquake loading. So, in a matter of the designing of the houses, doon papasok yung what I say the structural integrity and the capacity of the house to resist big typhoons or category 4 and 5 typhoons.
Pero Doc PJ, no, this is like you said, this is cement plus bamboo, right? So how do you combine the two?
Nice question. Ang cement bamboo frame technology mon, actually, it's like a frame. It's like a timber frame, but instead of timber frames, you're using round pole or round bamboo poles. And
Mm.
this frame structure are the one carrying the entire load of the house, whether the loading is the self weight of the house or the loading due to earthquake or loading due to wind speed of 240 to 300 kilometers per hour. That is the main structural element of the house, this frame structure from the walls going all the way to the roof. Now, yung cement, as you can see here in the nice picture here, the cement mortar is actually the cladding. It provides
Ah,
the
okay.
cladding lang siya. It's an external feature of the house and it clads the entire housing structure. Now, naiko-connect ang semento o naikakabit ang cement mortar with the bamboo frame just like this one, meron yang wire mesh and then papalitadahan yan ng mortar as a cladding. That is why the finished product, when you look at it outside, you can see that it is a combination of a bamboo frame inside, pero sa labas, it looks like your ordinary concrete house. So it's a
Okay, okay.
cladding yung cement.
Okay. Now that's a engineer's explanation. By the way, the reason why they call Doc PJ kasi doctor of engineering siya.
Yes. Opo.
But let me ask an architect naman, Ray. Oh, how did you,
Sure.
how, how, how did you look at this technology as an architect?
Yeah, I think that this technology has so many advantages to just a regular bamboo house or even a regular concrete house. I think with a bamboo house, there's just this perception that it won't last because it's not durable. It maybe rots fast or is not for a house that will last very long. But with cement bamboo frame, by protecting the bamboo from sun and rain exposure, that will ensure the lifetime of the structure. will really last. I think base Baha'i houses are certified to last by the National Housing Authority for 25 years at least, but it should last longer. So, and that way, I think by using the cement cladding, it's basically a waterproofing for the bamboo. Another reason why I think it's so strong and a great technology for the Philippines is because a lot of the weakest point in a bamboo house are the connections. And by using cement bamboo frame, we're not also using cement mortar in the actual bamboo. So we inject cement inside of the bamboo itself. And so that really holds the bamboo down to the foundation. It holds the connections together in the beams, in the columns. And I think that's a really good advantage for this system because typically in a bamboo house, you're relying on the craftsmen. How good are they? How can they really make a strong connection? So it really depends on the craftsman, on the carpenter, rather than using this kind of more fail-safe connection that really solidifies that connection. So
okay,
I could go on, but please.
Yeah, let me interject now, because that your description of how the technology is used, or the how you put together these materials, helps explain. Oh, that's why it can stand winds. But what about earthquakes, or what fire, and such mundane problems like termites? No, how does the how does the concrete bamboo technology hold up to those kinds of challenges, right?
Yeah, I've been learning a lot about termites and how to keep them out of bamboo since we started Kawaii Collective. Termites, termites, and also book, the powder post beetle. Those are the main infestive insects of bamboo. So with those two, and then also mold, are the three that our treatment process really makes sure that it does not get infected. So any house that Base Baha'i uses is properly treated, and so there will never be any termite or powder post beetle or mold infestation.
Oh, so that's what we saw in the video earlier, that the bamboo is being soaked in water and then treated again after being soaked there, right? Uh-huh. You want to add anything,
Exactly.
uh, Doc PJ?
Yes. Pagdating naman sa earthquake, Mon, the way na dinesign mo yung bahay with a wind speed of 240 to 300 kilometers per hour, the same principle is applied kapag dinidesign mo yung bahay with the earthquake loading. Kaya nga lang with the earthquake loading, you simplify the earthquake loading into a loading na the house would be able to resist the swaying and would be able to retain its structural integrity even at a magnitude of 6.5 to 7 earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
yung design method na yon, very similar with the design method when you also design it with the wind load for a typhoon. So both are pushing the house laterally, and that is for wind. The same thing with earthquake. You pushes the house in that direction, in lateral direction. So giving the house enough resistance to resist these two particular loading. So it's a part of the design. And then,
Okay.
kailangan yan ay compliant sa Philippine Building Code. Kasi nakastipulate na sa building code kung paano mo i-design yung bahay. So we
Okay.
just follow that.
Okay. We're gonna have to take a break right now, Doc PJ and Ray. But I want to start off with that point again. You mentioned the question of standards. No? That's something that's very important. I think we should tackle. But in the meantime, mga kapatid, don't go away. We will take a break. Babalik po kami kaagad. kapatid, tuloy po tayo sa ating discussion sa itong bagong technology ng bamboo technology, actually concrete bamboo frame technology na tinatawag nila. Our guest, Mr. Pablo Horillo from Base Bahay Foundation and architect Ray Villanueva of the Kawayan Collective. Let me follow through on that point, no? Kasi nabanggit mo, Doc PJ, building standards. Sandali. Ito bang technology na ginagamit nyo? Is this, paano kayo nagko-comply sa building standards? Kasi kung wala kang standards na sinusundan, parang hindi kayo legitimate, di ba? Parang house show at saka kumbaga amateur, hindi professional ang labas, no? So, I mean, how are you dealing with the question of standards?
Nice. Mon, ang daming nagtatanong ng mga engineers and architect. Ang una nila tinatanong, Doc PJ, meron bang codes pagdating sa building ng using bamboo in building structure? Meron bang mga standards na sinusunod? Now, I'm very happy to announce, very recently, last December 27, ang DTI Bureau of Standards ni-release at inadapt na ang ISO 22156.
Okay.
ISO 22156 into a Philippine national standard effective December last year. Now,
Okay.
it is for bamboo structure and structural design. Now, ang mga engineers and architects, pag binasa yung PNS ISO 22156, ano ang nilalaman nito? It covers the design of the bamboo structures. It covers connection of bamboo. Let's say whether in a frame method or in a truss structure. Dinidefine nito ang mechanical resistance ng mga elements ng bahay o ng structure, dinidefine ang serviceability, dinidefine ang durability requirements, and most of all, ini-stipulate nito different design methods. Kaya nga when we heard the news last year na it became a Philippine national standard, finally, now we have a standard issued by the Department of Trade and Industry under PNS, wherein we can now use this design method, these standards in building bamboo houses. Alam mo Mon, before this happened, hirap na hirap kami. For you to be able to build houses using this technology, you have to be approved by National Housing Authority. Your technology has to be certified by ITEC, accreditation of innovative technologies for housing, before you can build houses. And for us to be able to build houses, nagpa-certify, pina-accredit namin ang technology sa NHA. And then na-approve, na-accredit, kaya nakapag-construct kami. But now, we have the PNS ISO 22156. It is now complementing the ITEC certification of NHA. So it's much, how would I say, much easier now to build because you now have a standard.
Okay, let's thank you, Doc PJ. Let's ask the architect. Now, Ray, I mean, what does this mean? Now you have a standard, no? I think, what Doc PJ is saying is the work's going to be easier. How easier will it be for you?
Yeah, so it is a great step for the Philippines. It's one of the only countries in the world to adopt it. So we are leading the way. And I think that ISO is meant to be kind of a framework. And so the structural engineers, I think it's ASEP, Association of Structural Engineers in the Philippines, is trying to put that standard into the National Building Code or National Structural Code of the Philippines. And so when we go to get a permit for a bamboo building, the building departments now will say, okay, this is now certified under the National Structural Code. And then bamboo as a material will get more legitimacy and people will start using it more. So it's really a breakthrough for the country. And there are also a couple of other codes that or standards that got passed last year that also complement this ISO 22156. So,
pero anong
exciting.
Impact nito sa inyo, Ray? No? Kasi you guys are on the supply side, no? Hinahanda nyo,
Yes.
you are the ones who prepare the material, no? Do these standards now guide you or help you in, preparing the materials in a way that will be more acceptable to the market?
Yes, Yes, definitely. There's actually a separate standard, as I mentioned a little bit ago, that got passed for the grading of bamboo, construction grade bamboo. It's called ISO 19624. And so that was passed in 2019, I believe. And
Mhm.
right after that was passed, we got a research project with Base Bahay to be the first treatment facility in the world to offer construction grade bamboo to that standard. So we're really implementing all those grading standards, making sure that the bamboo is the right thickness, the right diameter, the right uh, curvature. So all of that is really goes a long way to ensuring that the material is safe and can be used for construction. And hopefully that type of grading will open up more opportunities for all the bamboo that's in the mountains right now for these farmers.
Okay. Speaking about bamboos in the mountain, but before we go to that, no, that's an important
Sure.
element that I want to tackle. But before we go to that, there's one more component. So it's disaster resilient. Now you've got standards there. But one of the attractions of this technology is that it's supposed to be more affordable. Doc PJ, how more affordable is this, no, compared to the conventional building technologies that people are used to?
Nice. Katunayan mo, the fact that you're using bamboo, a local material abundant in the Philippines, instead of using timber frames or
Mm-hmm.
imported lumber or imported timber or napakamahal ng mga timber ngayon, that's already a big reduction in the cost of the house. And the way the cement bamboo frame technology is assembled, constructed, and designed makes it an affordable housing structure. Now, magkano? How mura is this CBFT? Now, right now, a common topology, let's say one bedroom, one living room with kitchen, with toilet and bath and septic tank, and let's say 25 square meter, and a roofing, cuadro aguas.
Mm-hmm.
And for this type of house, you for a cement bamboo frame technology, you'll spend about 9,000 to 9,500 per square meter. Of the same
Okay.
topology using CHB or concrete hollow block, you might be spending 15 to 18,000 pesos per square meter.
Uy.
So there, pwede mo na kaagad ikumpara. Maybe mo, tatanong mo sa akin, Dok, paano na nagawa yon? Sabi ko nga, bamboo first because of the material used, and then the method on how the frame is assembled, and then the cladding used instead of, let's say, 4-inch hollow block, and imbis na gumagamit ka ng timber for your roofing structure, you're using round bamboo pole. All of this contribute to this affordability of the CBFT house.
Is it easier, mas mabilis ba magtayo ng CBFT house compared to the conventional? Architect Ray, is it the same or is it faster, easier?
I think that's the speed of labor makes it more affordable. So I think that's a great question because I think it is faster, and Base Bahay has kind of really led the way in this as well. We learned from them how to build through some trainings, which were really helpful. And the speed of it comes from we're able to fabricate all of our walls on tables, so on the ground, so it's not as hard to go up and do all the hard work in the air. So we're basically prefabricating all the walls on the ground and then tilting it up, and so it's not like it's very fast. The walls go up very fast.
Okay. So that adds to the affordability as well, no?
Exactly.
Okay. But sige, now you've got the standards, no? You've got the resistance, no, disaster resilience, etc. No? Now, how is it now? Is there greater acceptance? Are you beginning to feel more seriously taken when you make a proposal to developers, no, or ordinary people? I mean, kasi hanggang ngayon, I mean, I think majority of people para hindi pa masyadong, pwede bang ganun? What's your experience, Doc PJ?
Kasi ang bamboo pa rin is may stigma and connected to bahay kubo. And
Mhm.
when we talk about bamboo, they would say bahay kubo, it's made of bamboo, it is temporary, and after 5 years, bubukbukin na ulit yung some parts of the bamboo house. So the owner of the house will just harvest bamboo from a nearby creek and then i-replace yung part sa bahay. So it has that stigma of a poor man's timber. And
Mhm.
for us, it requires a lot of training, awareness, campaign, so that they
Mhm.
can appreciate that you can build a permanent structure with the right treatment of the material, with the right design, that you can build beautiful permanent houses with a minimum life service or service lifetime of 25 years, and that can go to as high as 50. We have to do a lot of campaign. We have to build model houses in different communities to convince mga homeowners association. We have to build nice designed model houses so that developers can see and appreciate. And only through that campaign and awareness and educating not only the beneficiary, the homeowners association, but also engineers, architects, contractors, builder, developer, all the way to the top. Even government organizations like NHA, SHAFC, the should that this technology works would be is still a big work for many of us.
Okay.
Pero good thing, Mon,
Mm.
there's a lot of pick up and interest on the use of bamboo lately. Mga
Oo nga.
nice structure, oo, makikita mo sa Facebook, ang gaganda
Yes.
ng mga structure. And
Mm.
pang pavilion, pang expo. And here you can now see there's a rising interest from engineers, architects to build using this material.
Well, hindi, tsaka ako, I mean, Doc PJ, I mean, I don't know if they're using they're probably using a different technology, but you see it on YouTube, no? Ang
Hmm.
dami ng mga YouTube channels na nagpapakita ng iba't ibang mga bamboo, iba't ibang mga architectural designs using material, no?
Yes.
Minsan amakan, minsan yung structure mismo, iba-iba. But ikaw, Architect Ray, I mean, what's been your experience in Negros, no? Mas malapit ka, dito sa isang community. So, I mean, how do people take it when you say, oh, you can build a nice, resilient structure using bamboo?
Yeah, I agree with Doc PJ. It's the acceptance does take years, and uh, luckily, Base Bahai's track record is showing that bamboo is resilient. All those Category 4 and 5 storms are being. I think that's the main test. People want to be safe in their homes. Yeah, we were able to build this house here. This is our first cement bamboo frame house, and this next couple of years, we're trying to build other homes that hopefully will be more attractive to developers and middle income earners, and also not those that don't qualify for the socialized housing. We're really experimenting with the technology, and we want people to see that this technology can be also used to highlight the material and to kind of redefine the bamboo house in the Philippines as something that's durable, not anymore the Bahay Kubo, but something more contemporary. And I think more structures like this, seeing is believing. And I think the more people see structures like that,
Yeah.
the more ideas that they'll have as well.
Okay, but I want to follow up with you, Ray. You know, because you're on the supply side of this and
Yes.
ecosystem, no? Um, how do you deal with farmers, no? Meaning, paano mo sila na-encourage to get into this, or do they need a lot of encouragement to, no? And how do you engage them, no, so that they will produce? Kasi this business won't take off kung walang supply.
Exactly.
Kailangan may supply talaga, otherwise, you won't be able to tap the real potential. So how are farmers responding to the idea of them planting bamboo plantations in order to supply this kind of market?
Yeah, I think that that is always a challenge. I remember when we first started, people were always, that was the first question, is there enough supply in the area? And we found out the past 3 years that yes, there is. And just in the mountains, there's just enough mountains up in here in Negros that we can process 2,000 poles a month up to that. But to answer your question more directly about the farmers, so we do work with the farmers into, I guess we have monthly, quarterly meetings where we invite them down to our facility and show them what we're doing with the bamboo and show them our demand and show them our partner base Bahay. And so when they see how much bamboo that we need and realize how much what their bamboo is going to, they see it as an opportunity. It really is giving them another source of income. The farmers are basically our harvesters too, so it's opened up another livelihood for them. As far as planting goes, we also are working with individuals right now. We hope to engage with DENR in our area for a more vast planting initiative. But right now, we're signing supplier agreements, memorandums of understanding with farmers to ensure them that if they plant, that we will buy it in the 5 years after it is planted. So we're assuring them the market, and hopefully that will get them to plant more. I think
Kasi, I mean,
there's a lot to. Yeah, go ahead.
Ray, I mean, just to break in there for a while, no? I mean, it's not just houses. I understand you guys are also using the bamboo material for different products, furniture, decorative items, no, wood panels, no, hindi lang construction, di ba? Is that also an interesting market for this kind of product?
Definitely. I think bamboo is such a versatile material, and we're very fortunate that that is so, because there's so much it can be used for. When we first were doing the supply to Base Bahay, there was this big pile of offcuts or rejects that we couldn't use for the houses. And after a year of accruing, we were like, okay, we need to do something with this big pile of bamboo. And so we've turned all that bamboo, reducing our waste to furniture, to engineered bamboo panels, and have really cut down our waste a lot. The pandemic was a kind of a blessing in disguise, because we got to focus on that pile of bamboo in our front lot that was just kind of going to waste. So now we have very little waste. And I think this idea of a micro-processing facility like ours is a great potential for all the municipalities or islands that have a bamboo supply. I think really it is a good model for local opportunity, where bamboo facilities can produce construction grain bamboo, but also it can lead to other products and other livelihoods that aren't being tapped right now.
Okay, now going back to you, Doc PJ, because Ray just mentioned 2 points that I want to follow up with you. Number one, waste. Brings to mind the issue of sustainability, ecological impact. And I've read in your materials that this technology, concrete bamboo frame, more lower carbon impact. Is there a number that you can give to that?
Yeah, Mon, we did a study with ETH Zurich, and already we have 2 studies on the life cycle assessment of these cement bamboo frame houses. Initial result of our study 5 years ago showed that the carbon footprint, when you compare the carbon footprint of a cement bamboo frame house compared to your conventional CHB house, the carbon footprint is less than 60%. Kung ang CHB house mo would produce 12 tons of carbon dioxide in terms of emission, ang cement bamboo frame house would only produce 2.5 to 3 tons of carbon dioxide. So it's 60% less. Now, validate ulit yun with our recent research with ETH Zurich last year. And this time, clear ang parametric study, and it is 70% less ang carbon footprint. So, na-validate yung previous studies that we had 5 years ago, and now much more. Pero we're not stopping there. We're still looking for ways and how can we even further lower down the carbon emission when you build this type of houses.
Okay, now that's a very very interesting and promising message there, Dr. PJ. But in the meantime, we have to take a break, mga kapatid. And when we come back, we will now take your question. The two gentlemen. Oh, paano ba magagamit natin ito? We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back, mga kapatid. Tuloy na tayo sa ating Q&A session with our two guests, Mr. Pablo Hurillo of the General Manager of Base Bahay Foundation and Architect Ray Villanueva of the co-founder of the Kawayan Collective. And we have a couple of questions for you guys right away. Ito nga, I should have asked this question earlier. From Marge Antoy. Gaano katagal ang bamboo house bago palitan ng materials? Doc PJ?
Yes. Okay. Sisiguraduhin mo kapag nag-design ka ng bahay, parts of your bamboos are not fully exposed to UV lights and wetting and drying. If there are parts of your house that are exposed to wetting and drying and UV, may possible na mag-degrade yon for some period of time. Saan to makikita? For example, kung ikaw ay may mga extension part of the house, usually depending on the exposure of that extension part of the house, that bamboo part, maybe after 3 or 5 years, you might have to replace that. But then again, that is non-structural. Kasi when we design the CBFT house, it is designed that the bamboo inside the house is contained by the cement cladding. So there is no need actually to replace any part of the bamboo. And sabi nga ni Ray, they are well treated and the service lifetime, the service lifetime of the house is no less than 25 years. And within that time, dapat hindi pinapalitan.
Okay. Sige. Next question here. Thank you very much, PJ. From RV Arguelles. This one for you, Ray, architect. Hindi po ba mainit ang bamboo house? Ang init dito sa Pilipinas, no? So, how do you answer that one?
Is it hot? A hot house, a bamboo house, is it hot with the? Is that the question? Sorry.
No, the question is, are bamboo houses hot? Because may init dito sa Pilipinas, no?
Oh yeah, of course it's hot here. I think that a well-designed house in any environment takes into account the passive response to the local environment. So I think with the Bayakubo as an example, it's always about maximizing ventilation and making sure hot air can escape. And I think with the CBFT wall, there's actually less cement in a CBFT wall than in a concrete hollow block wall. So that also makes it so that there's not as much retention of heat in the long run. So that makes it more comfortable. I think with the CBFT house is also we're also encouraging a more durable roof. And it's metal sheets, but I believe that there also needs to be some education around how metal sheets are actually a good durable roof. It will last 25 years, but you have to make sure it's well ventilated in order for it not to be so hot.
So it's really in the design, Architect Ray? No?
Yes.
How you design the
Yes,
house?
definitely.
And
Exactly.
then
Yes.
to add on to that, we had a recent study. We compared the
Yes.
concrete hollow block house and then the CBFT house in terms of thermal comfort, and then we found out it's 4 to 5 degrees centigrade less. It's 5 degrees centigrade cooler compared to your CHB house. Kasi nga tama sabi ni Architect Ray kasi walang nare-retain na heat sa concrete hollow block. Sa CBFT house, nadi-disperse throughout the walls, throughout the design of the house.
Okay, okay. Sige, good point there. From Ike Pagaw Arboleda, isn't it bamboo shrinks much greater when it dries up compared to timber? So it's crisp. So what makes it resilient? Who wants to take that question? Architect Ray? Okay, Doc PJ.
Okay, tama, no? Kapag yung bamboo biglang nag-dry, instant drying, any materials, maski kahoy, once you expose it to instant drying, makikita mo yung kahoy nagwa-warp. Ganun din ang bamboo, magwa-warp yun. O kaya basahin mo yung kahoy, mag-e-expand ang kahoy. Ganun din ang kawayan, mag-e-expand yun. But for us, structural designer, it is important that when you use a construction material for a house, you use the material in its equilibrium state na tinatawag, wherein the moisture content, whether yan ay kahoy, whether yan ay bamboo, it's in equilibrium state. Sa bamboo, kapag nasa equilibrium state and then ginamit mo na sa bahay mo, it stays that way kasi whatever the moisture, the humidity in the house, nare-retain na yung equilibrium state ng bamboo. So, the tendency for the bamboo to crack is less. Maliban na lang ulit kapag in-expose nyo yung inyong parte ng bahay to heat or direct sunlight, and then that alters the equilibrium stage of the bamboo. Medyo technical, no? Pero that's the way, no? Kaya makikita mo, posible na magka-crack ang bamboo mo kapag yan ay naka-expose directly to the sunlight. Pero kapag yan ay contained, just like how we designed it, then you have a good house with good structural integrity.
Okay, thank you there, Doc PJ. Here's, I think, something for you, Architect Ray, from Jane de Guzman. Are you using chemicals in the treatment of bamboo? How do you, kasi you're processing the bamboo na nakukuha nyo, na di-deliver ng mga magsasaka. So how do you treat it? Do you use chemicals?
Yes, chemicals are a very important part of the treatment. I think we at our facility we use two types of chemicals. One is a borax and boric acid mixture that is used all around the world, and the other one is a permethrin-based solution, which enables us to treat bamboo faster. So the BBA, boric acid solution, simulates kind of how it was traditionally treated in the ocean, but this combination of boric and boric acid really is a much more dense and, I guess, higher density solution, so that it kind of displaces a lot of the starches that the insects like.
Oh, okay. Okay. Siguro, I mean, this is a related question, no? From Janus Santiago. Nagkakaroon po ba ng amoy ang bamboo houses na iba from normal or standard houses? Maybe it's because the wood is being treated or something. Is there any difference sa amoy ng mga bamboo houses? Doc PJ.
Yes, very interesting question. Katunayan kapag tinreat mo na yung bamboo mo, wala nang amoy yun. Kasi the chemicals or the boric acid, the borax or the permethrin already permeate already in your bamboo. No? So wala nang smell yon. So
Ah,
there is no smell
right.
in the
Yeah.
bamboo house, right, Ray?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, go ahead, Ray.
Yeah. We have huge racks of bamboo that we're drying on our facility, and if you smell them, they do not smell at all. So it's no off gassing. It's completely okay to use in a house.
Oh, last question, guys. Quick answers. I think we're running out of time from Roel Yap. Paano naman ang sunog? How does the CBTF stand, face this kind of problem?
Okay. Mon, tinest namin yung frame ng cement bamboo frame houses against fire following the underwriter's laboratory test protocol. Now, our findings is yung shear wall frame na yon, let's say you use it as a firewall, it has a fire resistance from 60 to 90 minutes based on the UL protocol. So, ibig sabihin, it can it can have a fire resistant similar to your other type of walls used in any type of structure as long as you build it in the right manner.
Okay, so it's not just the material, it's also the design. Gentlemen, I'm sorry, we're out of time. So, ginagano na ako. So, thank you. Thank you very much, Doc JJ and Architect Ray, for explaining this interesting new technology na sana naman, I hope very strongly na magamit na mas maraming tao. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Maraming salamat at maraming salamat din sa inyo mga kapatid for sticking with us in this episode. I hope you learned something that you will find interesting enough to try out later on. Meantime po, laging tandaan na malaki po ang mga pakinabang ng gadgets, pero teka muna, think before you click. Ako po ulit, si Monis Berto, ang inyong Tech Lolo. Magandang gabi mula sa amin dito sa Teka Muna. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino.